Tim, I wanted to ask you, why is the expansion of addressable enablement beneficial to the industry? I mean, to marketers, to the programmers, sort of, what's the proposition? Because there's a lot of effort involved with this.
Um, yeah, so we see that moving to a network enablement where you're now facilitating addressable not only in the sort of 2 minutes of inventory that satellite operators, cable operators, other distributors have had access to, but to the full complement of inventory available on television is going to be necessary to really drive this into the mainstream and to drive scale. Addressable has been a great product, and it's been a product that the Dish and others have been able to drive sort of that first wave of scale, but it's still been sort of limited to a smaller portion of TV budgets. We'd like to see addressable become the way that you transact television, right? An impression-based model. It's very flexible. You can target very specific audiences, or you can use the addressable platform to just find incremental reach on much broader targets. So having that scale is really, really what this is all about, and making it easy for buyers and making that transaction happen the way, essentially they can buy TV today.
And of course, one big part of that, Tim, is the issue of measurement. And Nielsen's kind of stepped up to the plate, and as others have. What is the need for measurement? Some unified measurement yardsticks to understand the value of this.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We've been talking about national enablement. I've been talking about national enablement since I first started working on addressable, which dates back to about the year 2000. 2000. So the problem has always been for national networks. If you go to addressable, let's say you start with Dish, you're only affecting a percentage of your overall footprint, right? And so you had to take that unit out of sale with Nielsen, and now the economics of trying to get back to what you could have sold that unit on a national basis, this has always been very difficult. And so the ability to have that inventory that you can still sell broadly, you can still transact with a Nielsen currency, but in the case where you're going to take some of the audience out and transact that audience addressably, that's critically important to make it so that programmers can optimize their inventory and make much more of that inventory available for sale in an addressable model. So that announcement from Nielsen, where they're going to have that delivered soon, that is going to really be a major and significant milestone in terms of moving this forward.
And Tim, finally, I wanted to ask you how your move to national enablement, your leadership, might lead to a larger open ecosystem more broadly, and kind of what's needed to have a more open, interoperable ecosystem, including addressable, but perhaps beyond.
Well, I think open is very important to Dish, right? It's one of our guiding stars, our North Star. So transparency is very important when you talk about open systems. Working obviously with others to drive that scale is very important when we think about an open environment. Being flexible to work with a variety of vendors, to be flexible in terms of the way the transactional models will work and the services we can provide to the programmers. I was talking earlier, right, about not having to sort of force, each programmer into sort of one model to start, where if they're more comfortable working directly or if they want to work through a third party, we want to accommodate that. In general, the the TV industry is very much made up of hundreds, if not thousands, of different entities, right? That are working together to bring quality entertainment, news, information to consumers, and to bring the advertising along as well. And so it's always going to be complex, right? And so because of that, you are going to have to be flexible, and you're going to have this interoperability.